Once again, there's news from China about the spread of a virus. Over the last few days, on social media, many videos have gone viral where a large number of patients can be seen in Chinese hospitals. Flu-like symptoms have been observed in these patients. Many hospitals are said to have been overwhelmed. There are crowds of people at these hospitals. The biggest fear among people now is whether this will turn into the sequel to COVID-19, the novel coronavirus that spread globally 5 years ago. Hi, my name is Arun Hamal, and today in this video, we're talking about something that's been making waves in the news recently.
I told you about a new virus outbreak in China. Over the
virus is spreading from China to
HMPV virus outbreak in northern China. Some users are claiming that a new lockdown is upon us.
Over the past few days, social media has been buzzing with videos of crowded hospitals in China. Naturally, this has sparked concern. Is this the next COVID-19? Could the world face another global pandemic? Let's break it all down, separate fact from fiction, and understand what this virus is really about. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. Now, if you're hearing about HMPV for the first time, you might be wondering, what is this virus and how dangerous is it? Let's get one thing straight. This isn't a new virus. In fact, HMPV was first discovered in 2001 by scientists in the Netherlands. Unlike COVID-19, which emerged suddenly and took the world by storm in 2019, HMPV has been around for decades. So why the sudden alarm? Why is HMPV making headlines now, in 2025? To understand this, let's look at what's happening in China. According to reports, several cities, including Beijing, Chongqing, and Guangdong, are seeing a rise in respiratory infections, including HMPV. Hospitals are crowded, and people are naturally worried. Now, it's not that this virus has been hiding for so many years and suddenly started infecting people in China in 2025. No, this virus has been active every season. When people get infected with this virus, they assume they caught the common cold, and in a few days, the symptoms go away on their own. They don't even find out that they had the HMPV virus. The reason why it is also known as an anonymous virus. This is a respiratory virus. That's why its symptoms are similar to that of common cold and influenza. To be exact, people who get infected by this can get a fever, coughing bouts, a blocked nose, and some difficulty in breathing. The incubation period of this virus is about 3 to 6 days. That means if you get infected with this, it can take 3 to 6 days to start showing the symptoms. And do you need to be afraid of it? Let's talk about its death rate later in the video. Because before that, I'd like to tell you there are no vaccines for this HMPV virus. Even though it was discovered 24 years ago, no vaccine was developed. Not because of lack of trying. Many researchers did try to develop a vaccine, but there were problems related to the safety and efficacy of the vaccines. Some vaccines were tried on animals, but in many cases where animals were given the vaccines, their lung inflammation worsened. It did not reach the human trials. 1, because of the safety concerns, and 2, because there could hardly be any sort of long-term immunity. Getting the common cold is something that everyone suffers once or twice every year. Do you know why? Because common cold is not caused by a single virus. There are 200 different viruses that can cause the common cold. Plus, these viruses mutate constantly, so any immunity you develop doesn't protect you in the long term. This is why there are no vaccines for the common cold. But don't worry, because many scientists believe that getting mildly sick occasionally is a good way to keep your immune system active and responsive. So the question is, if this isn't problematic, what's up with China? The media has greatly exaggerated this news, as if it's the beginning of the next global pandemic and the world would be under lockdown once again. The truth is, when COVID-19 spread in China, China imposed a very strict lockdown all over the country. This lockdown was stricter and remained in force longer than the ones in other countries. This meant that the Chinese residents weren't exposed to COVID for years. Not only COVID, they weren't exposed to other respiratory viruses and bacteria either. For years, there was nothing to keep their immune system active and responsive. The winter of 2023 was the first in China after the lockdown was properly lifted, and so the Chinese population was suddenly exposed to numerous viruses and bacteria. And all at once, various types of infections were seen because of a lack of contact with these pathogens for a long time. There is an immunological deficit, that is, a deficiency in their natural immunity. This is why during the last winter, there was a massive surge in the number of flu cases in China. This year, too, there was a spike again in these respiratory illnesses, but not as much as last year's. World Health Organization hasn't declared HMPV infections a global health emergency, and it is unlikely that there will be a major outbreak. Also, this virus has been around for decades, so people have already developed a certain level of immunity against it. Those of you who are watching this video, there is a high chance that you already have some immunity against this HMPV virus. So don't panic. Instead, let's focus on staying informed and addressing other pressing issues. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. What do you think about the current media coverage of HMPV? Let me know your thoughts.